record. There we go. So yeah, revenue management is a bit of a more complex animal. You can do it from here. I don't remember if I set it up or not. But let me, just to kind of give you an idea, let's see, where is my script that I use to,
and I really appreciate you doing this, Eric. That's really awesome.
No big deal. Yeah.
And so fast. I was like, oh, just do it later. And you're like, oh, I could do it next week.
Well, yeah, no, see, somebody asked, well, there it is. How's your new job? And I said, well, that's like somebody took the pressure cooker lid off, right?
Mm-hmm.
So just to give you an idea, revenue management, this is a script I put together because to get gross margin to work in cost accounting, I have to go through revenue management. And so all of these steps are needed to turn on revenue management, and except for the last couple down here, right? So it's crazy, but it works, right? If you go through the process, revenue management, everything shows up and it's all cool. So it's a bit of an involved process. So what this environment, I have this environment for 2 or 3 years, and I have a lot in here. We set this environment up to beef up the service logistics offering, the things you can do in sales and service, and follow it through work orders and all those kinds of things. So basically in order management, for subscription management, what we decided is, okay, there's a use case out there that says, I'm gonna buy a product, but I'm not going to pay for it right away. I'm going to pay monthly for it, right? As a subscription. I call it product as a service. Because normally I buy a product, they ship it to me, they invoice me, and that's over with. But people have put in this model, BMW, Mercedes-Benz, I don't know if they still do it, but you could pay them $4,000 a month and you can drive whatever car you want to, right? Change it out anytime you want to, and you just keep paying them $4,000 a month.
That's
a little above my budget.
$4,000 a month.
Yeah, and you can drive anything you want, right? And you can be as new as you want, right? So what we did is development kept telling us that, yes, you can go from order management to subscription management. They said, oh yeah, you can do that. And so we decided one day, well, let's do that. So what we've done is we've gone out and set up an item that will do that. In fact, I've been working with a couple bills right now where this is kind of a flow that we're having to deal with. And Lamar Advertising is something that Upmarket is doing. They make the big billboards outdoors. And so what they do is they'll go in and they'll design a billboard, then they'll install a billboard, but they charge the customer X number of months, for however many months the billboard's going to be up there. So that is kind of one of the use cases. So everything is normal, right? You can see I've also set up order types in here in my system so that I'll go in. It helps me sort through and figure out what's going on. But all of this is standard out of the box. This is subscription management, order management are linked together using OIC, Oracle Integration Cloud. When development finally gets this out of the box, it'll be linked without OIC, right? Because they can do point to point where I wasn't able to do that. So we have, just like a regular order, I don't know if you can hear all the pounding behind me. They're working on my roof today.
Oh, that's fun. You getting it all replaced or what?
Yeah, I have a concrete tile roof and it's 40 years old. And so all the felt underneath, the asphalt impregnated felt is old, and so we get leaks from time to time. So I got tired of it. So
gotcha.
Anyway,
I've been
so
there.
All these orders, yeah. So that's what they're beating on above my head today. I put in all these different order types just because I use this environment for different things. But this is all user-defined order types. You can put in as many as you want, and we've created this item, and then I've decided, what fields do I want to be here? I set this up in the item master as a subscription item. And that's how you tell it that subscription management. Now, these two fields that don't have titles on them are standard in the product field. So this is, I'm going to say this is 18 months. And so that's what this is for. It's a number of months.
And
I set
really
up a
quick
price.
question for you. I'm sorry. So doesn't the order type, can't that dictate the not distribution, the order orchestration, or no? Or is that somewhere else that can do that? Because I remember in some of the demos that like Stuart May did, he would go in somewhere, put something, and it actually changed the orchestration process. Does that do anything, or is that just a static field?
You can, but order type is user defined, so I don't think that's it. I don't know that much about how orchestration steps are set up. I keep trying to figure that out, have failed. Development is supposed to create a new orchestration step to deal with creating a subscription instead of an invoice, but they haven't yet. So what we've done is we've triggered this off the fact that this is a subscription item. And I used this demo for CalAmp. I put their items in here. CalAmp sells IoT devices for fleet monitoring. And so this will orchestrate, it'll send out however many IoT devices or GPS devices they need, and then it'll create a subscription based on that for that many devices and all those kinds of things. So then we'll go ahead and add this. And this is just a monthly amount. You have to set it up as a monthly price. And then the other things, and everything on here is standard, you know, the duration is 18 months. And then over here, we have contract start and end date. So again, these are fields that if you go over here under view, columns, then you can add and take all these fields out. So I've just set them up to be here. And you can backdate the subscription if you want to. They also now have functionality that you can have subscriptions start after it's installed. I haven't played around with that too much, but I do know that that is out there. And just like an order, you just submit it. And it's going to go through orchestration. It's going to reserve it and all those kinds of things. And so where we picked up the integration on this is at the point of shipping. So when this gets ship confirmed, that's when the middleware picks it up and sends it over to subscriptions. Action. So sounds like I have elephants dancing on my roof. Not sure what they're doing up there. So just like a regular orchestration. And this is what I say, the one fallacy in this particular setup that we have is it still wants to go down here and create this invoice. And so this, we kind of ignore this. If somebody were to go run import auto invoice, it'll pick this up and suck it in and it'll bill it twice. But development, I asked Sudeep the other day what the status was. They're supposed to give us a step here for subscription creation or something where it'll create a subscription rather than an invoice. And then you won't have this dangling situation sitting out here. But you can actually put a warranty on a subscription item. That's what this asset management is about. So you can create a subscription for the item, and then the warranty will go create your warranty subscription that then can be used in service and depot repair and all that kind of good stuff. So all of that stuff is available out there. So this will get over here to shipping in a minute.
And how do you go about setting up the middleware? Because you keep talking about how it puts it over to.
That's where I went to demo engineering. There's some really smart people that do all this programming over in India. Oh yeah, there's no way I could have done it.
I was about to say, I was like, dang, you need to go implement it yourself.
Yeah, if I quit programming back in the 80s. I'm sure if I spend enough time, I might be able to do it, but I just don't like to work at that level of detail anymore to be a programmer. But yeah, it has to be programmed. Suresh and Ramesh are the ones who did this for us. And the thing with our demo environments, you know, every Monday we wake up and we have new passwords, right? So if I know I have a demo coming up or that I have to deal with this, then I have to go to Ramesh and have him re-input the weekly password into the integration into the middleware, so that it can do its job. Otherwise, it won't work right. But in a production environment, you could probably set up a user where the password doesn't change every Monday morning, and then it wouldn't be an issue. But so this is using all out of the box APIs and everything, right?
Okay.
And so then we can go to ship it. Also, let's see, where's my user? So this is John Dunbar. We've computer sales and services, the one I like. This is subscription management. So these are three that I was testing with the last couple of days. You can see the dates are all here in May.
Right.
So we'll go over here and we'll go ahead and ship this item out. And I don't do pick waves and all that stuff. That's too many clicks and makes it look too hard.
You just did auto create shipment. Is that what you said? Is that what you did?
Yep, auto create shipment. I just make it look easy. And you can serialize and all those kinds of things too. And so we'll do ship confirm. And so now this has been shipped. You can see that the status is now closed. And then magically with, you know, in TV land, over here in subscriptions, we'll see 97494 here in a minute. It takes a minute, but in the item master, when you set up a subscription item, you have to tell it it's a subscription item, and if it's a warranty, you have to give it a bunch of other information as well. You can set these up to go into install base, to be tracked for depot repair, you know, all the things you can normally do. It's just we're paying for it differently, or we're billing for it, I should say, differently.
So is the flow, you have the order and then you have to ship the order and then it just pops in here.
Right. And here it is right here. 97494.
Okay. Yeah, I remember you
I backdated this to April 1st. Yeah, I do that so I can.
Okay.
And I also bring them in draft mode, which is also, you know, you can bring them in any way you want to. You can bring them in as active or in
Where
draft.
would you set that at? Was that at the item?
That's
was
part
that
of
the
the
order line?
That's part of the integration.
Oh, okay.
That's part of how OIC will bring it in. I did that so people, you know, because I think sometimes too much automation creates too many issues. And so it's just a talk track and say it gives you an option to take a look at them before you activate them.
So this is like a known integration now, right? But as far as our demo environments, we can't demo it unless we get you and everybody. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, development has been telling us for 3 years you could do this. So when we had the CalAmp demo, we went out to prove that we could do this. CalAmp demo was, I did a series of demos for them starting in late 2020 through, and I got, okay, so this environment actually started out from a Tektronix demo that Upmarket did in summer of 2020. And so I took an image of that because they had done a lot of cool things in Application Composer on sales and service for the service logistics flow. We put in entitlement lookups. We put in selling subscriptions from sales and service. We did all kinds of things. There's some canned reports and dashboards and stuff. And so I took that environment and said, hey, they tell me we can do this. I have a demo coming up, so let's put this together. So we started putting this together in summer of 2020, and it probably worked the first time right after the first of the year in 21.
Okay.
You know, we worked on it on and off as we could. So yeah, and then it's just a regular subscription. So here's my item number. I called it my past subscription item. Man, somebody's been messing with this environment. I don't know who it is either because I'm supposed to have access to it. You know, billing summary, this is billed. It looks like it was set up to bill twice a year or whatever. You can do all the things. Yeah, so it's really kind of nice to be able to show clients that, hey, yeah, we can do this, right? So the other thing they wanted us to do is wanted to know as well is, can I add assets to something that doesn't come, install base assets after the fact? And so we found out, it's kind of technical and weedish, but that there's two sides to subscription management assets. So we created this IoT asset. This was again for CalAmp. I don't think there won't be anything on the subscription, but this is where you can go in and add all the assets that are associated with the subscription after the fact. We also put in some changes in how warranties are going to be done on. So one of the things with Tektronix was the CalAmp. And anyway, a couple clients that said, hey, when I have a part that comes in and the warranty is within 90 days of expiring, I don't want a brand new 2-year warranty to go out on this. I just want a 90-day warranty. And so that's in the process of being integrated into the system so that when you replace an asset, you can add a warranty, a depot repair warranty to it that's less than the original warranty. Normally, what they would have done is just slide the asset out of the warranty. When it's completed, put it back into the warranty. And it's like, that doesn't help us, right? If that warranty is going to expire, we don't want to give them a brand new warranty on it. We just want a 90-day warranty. So those are some of the things that changes that are coming in this. But they're supposed to have set up that orchestration step. And I think that's one of those cans that kept kicking down the road, so that this will become more automated and you can really do it in the orchestration world rather than with OIC like we've had to do here. So they're trying to make this standard out of the box functionality without having to use OIC. But it shows really slick. I mean, it tells people, yeah, we can do this. Before I said, oh yeah, you can do that. Can you show it to me? No, we're not set up.
Yeah. So you were talking about the assets. So you can you can add the asset to here, and then isn't there warranty or is that coverage items? Like how does it differ, I guess, from OM to subscription management? Do you just take care of it in subscriptions instead of order management because you have that you can do multiple line items in order management? So
well, there's two things. Yeah, so there's the standard. Let's see, who do I have out here? Let's see if I have a standard warranty. This is an extended warranty. There it is. There's a standard warranty. So standard warranty, like this particular item number, it's just attached to the item number. So when the item is sold, that orchestration step. Let's see. Get back to the orchestration here. This orchestration step right here, this is asset management. That will create a warranty if a warranty has been attached to the item in the item master. And so when that does that, this is what you see. And the thing with this warranty is there's no price on it. You'll notice over here, there's no price at all. And so this is a standard included 1-year warranty. When you open this up, I don't know why they chose these terms, but if you look under coverage, it'll tell you this is what they're entitled to under the warranty. So if service were to come in, or service or depot repair were to come in to do something under this warranty, this down here tells them how to bill it, right? What are my discounts associated with various things that could happen on this? The coverage levels tells you the assets that are covered. I don't know why they call it coverage levels. It's dumb. But that's what they called it. So these assets are part of this warranty contract. There's 5 assets that were sold. It gives you the asset number, serial numbers, etc. What this is for is if I have this IoT asset, again, I don't remember what, this was a long time ago. I don't remember what subscription I set up, but this is where I have a subscription like the GPS trackers for their vehicles, right? That I have 100 of these, but they're not warranted items. They're just assets associated with this subscription. And so that's where we created using App Composer this particular item. And then there's a way to bring those assets in here. So there's a lot of functionality that they've built into subscription management that isn't like out of the box or in the scripts. So that's what this IoT assets is about. Is like, this is for non-warranty items, because it's not the same as coverages and, well, it's broken, so what am I entitled to get it fixed? This is more like, hey, here's a subscription for 100 devices that I shipped out. What's the list of serial numbers on those 100 devices? And so that's what this is for. So again, as we went through this process, we found all kinds of cool things you can do. Yeah.
This is Sid. So, so when you say IoT assets, is it like, let's say if there is a car rental agency, Hertz, right? And they rent cars to their customers. So can this functionality be used there so that Hertz can know where exactly their assets are?
No.
Don't
get caught up in don't get caught up in the IoT aspect of that. That's just what we named it for the audit. I mean, for the CalAmp demo. It's just a way to give you a list of assets that are associated with the subscription. That's all it does.
And when you say assets, does it mean that it is the organization's assets, like fixed asset that we rent out, or it is the
no? The intent of this was assets that I sold to a customer under a subscription. So,
but these were assets in the inventory organization, right?
They were assets that I sold to the customer.
Got it. Okay.
Right. Yeah, these are assets that I sold to the customer under the subscription. This is not the same as the IoT asset management program that's out there, or product that's out there. I think we just called it IoT because that's the term the customer used.
Okay, so it just gives you the list of serial numbers of the products that were sold.
Right. Right. I'm trying to see if I can remember what subscription I put those under. That was their LoJack product. I don't remember. It's been too long. It's been over a year since I did this one. Maybe it's in one of these. When these things happen in demos, this is what's frustrating when it sits there and spins. Here's one where you actually have an asset associated with. There's 10 of them. But there is one where there's actually the list. So again, it's just about, there's more that we can do with subscriptions than just warranties or periodic billing, right? A lot of different aspects that we can get into. A lot of it's just about asking development, hey, how do we do this? And you can see this demo was February of last year. And we do particular things in subscription management. And that's usually how we learn things, right? We go out and ask the questions, and then they let us know what they can or cannot do. But this is one of those things, that it is possible, and, we're not just blowing smoke up people's skirts when we tell them that, oh yeah, we can go from, subscription management or order management to subscription management. We've actually set it up, we did it, and I've actually demoed it on a live demo for a customer. And they actually bought it. So CalAmp is a closed account.
Eric, in your previous screen, you showed us there was a field called asset number. Is it a fixed asset that we have purchased from?
No. Okay. No. This is not for internal assets. Okay.
Okay. These are not.
So what this is for? Subscription management is about warranties on products. Generally, subscription management is about warranties on products that we have sold to our customers. Okay, and so that's why there are assets associated with it, because if you go into field service or depot repair, they have an entitlement, right? There's a warranty on this. How long is the warranty? Well, in this case, the warranty is from July of 21 through July of 22. So it's coming up here. And so what is covered under this warranty? Well, this warranty has 5 different assets that the customer bought. These asset numbers, these serial numbers are the warranted items. So if one of these items were to come back in to be fixed, this particular subscription or this particular warranty contract covers the work that's going to be done based on these coverages. So this is, you know, so there's going to be labor and material associated with repairing something, and this is, they get 100% discount on labor, material, blah, blah, blah. And then in field service and then in depot repair, there's different aspects of it. So these are the entitlements, meaning what are they entitled to? So this has nothing to do with internal assets. This is everything to do with assets that are with our customers.
Okay, because I was confused. I was just wondering, like, how do you generate these asset number then? Is that generated?
They're generated by the system when the warranty contract is created. Actually,
Okay.
not when the warranty contract is created. Okay, so we'll go down that rabbit hole for a minute. I'm going to go into the item master. We call it PIM, right? Product Information Management. And I'm going to try to think of, let's see.
If I'm derailing this discussion, but this is of interest to me as I'm working with a customer, and there is a potential usage for this subscription management. They rent those drill bore machines to their customers, and they charge them on a frequently basis.
Right, and that's, you know, the revenue side of that is exactly what subscription management is for, right? To bill periodically to the customer. So there's 2 sides to subscription management. There's the warranty and entitlement side, which includes new warranties, extended warranties, aftermarket warranties, whatever you want those to be, right? And then there's the recurring billing side. So that's where I go sign up for Proactive, and for $29.95 a month, they're going to send me product, right? So I get billed $29.95 a month for whatever. So that's the revenue billing side. So there's 2 sides to this. Subscription management is not for internal assets. It's not to track warranty on internal machines that I might use in production or laptops that I have on sitting on people's desks, right? It's not going to help with any of that. And so when we create a warranty over here in PIM, the first thing that, okay, so there's 2 pieces of this. First is the asset that I'm selling. And in relationships here, I tell it that there's going to be a warranty created when it is shipped out.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Okay. So you have to create that. The other thing that we have to tell it is under service, under the service tab here, this tab, there's these items here for this item, these 4 things. And what do they talk about? Asset tracking. Am I going to track this? If you say full life cycle, when this product is either first produced or sold, whichever happens first, it creates a record in the installed base records. That says installed base knows about this asset. It's assigned an asset number, and you can now track it to and from customers. It can be, it can live in my inventory. It can live at a customer site. I can go change addresses if the customer moves down the street and takes the asset with him, whatever it is. Do I want to enable maintenance on this? Yes or no? And if you're going to do depot repair on this, if you do depot repair versus field service, maybe you want to have the ability to create maintenance work orders. Genealogy. Do you want to be able to track this through serial lot control? And so this is important even if you're not doing install base. So if you want to do any kind of serial tracking, lot tracking, you have to turn on lot tracking or it will not track it, even though there's serial numbers associated with it. And then the asset class, right, is equipment or software, it's just hard or soft assets. And if you're going to do like what I showed, what we call product as a service, or what I like to call product as a service, there's this field here that needs to be filled out too. Is what kind of a product is it? And I set mine up as subscription. That's my trigger that creates my interface, right? But you can also create, you know, included warranties, extended warranties, all kinds of other things here. And I don't know what they all do, but I know included and extended warranties are important for the warranty work. So now that item number that's a warranty, you have to set that up as well. And so we'll go over here and WARST, I think is the standard warranty. So this has an item master associated with wheels. You notice it's only in the 000 org. And you come here in specifications and you come into service and you have to fill out the service contract part of this, right? What's the standard coverage? Is it fixed? What's the duration? All those kinds of things you have to set up for it. Right, because when it goes over into subscription management, it needs to know what to do with this particular subscription. How long will it be? All those kinds of things. And so those are the two things that need to be set up for on a warranty world. You can create extended warranties. I don't know if they set up the orchestration yet to sell an extended warranty in order management and have it show up in subscriptions, but I know that's on the roadmap. If it hasn't come out yet, I haven't actually checked on that recently. So that's where all the warranty works. So yeah, there is stuff that has to be set up in the item master depending on what you're doing. Sure. But the integration, I've only keyed off of this one field, the sales product type. Okay.
So you were telling,
was that confusing or helpful?
No, this was very helpful. I mean, it definitely, I can connect the dots now. So you were telling us like how does the asset number gets generated then? So now that
okay, so when right, so when an asset, so if you have this asset tracking on, which are these four fields under the service tab, you know, especially here, the one that says life cycle or not tracked, maintenance, all these things. When the asset is produced in production, so you go through manufacturing, you create a work order, you produce an item. When that item is moved into finished good, it will create an asset number and put this record in install base. If it's something that you've purchased, you can have that set up at point of, you can also do it with production assets as well, but you can have install base created at the moment that is shipped to a customer through, you know, through pick, ship, and ship confirm and that kind of thing. And then the install base assets are set up. I should say the install base records for the assets are set up. And once it's an install base, then you can see the assets. Let's see, where's John Dunbar? And that's where when you see subscriptions, you have an asset number and all those kinds of things. But there's also, we have a product called sales and service. Here we go. Installed base assets. This is where you can go in and take a look at all the assets that are sitting in the installed base records. Installed base is not a system. It's just a set of records that are out there. Let's see, AS88123. Trying to think of an asset I know that might be out here. So here's all the assets, AS88000, all the asset numbers, my serial numbers, and you'll notice over here on the right who's the customer that has the asset. And if you go into Asset 360, this will give you more information on the asset. This is where you can see
like when it was shipped and all?
Locations and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Okay, so this is our asset 360 have. If there's any if there's any service requests, you'll be able to see them. Any subscriptions associated with this asset. Subscriptions can be things like, you probably can't see this very well, warranty subscriptions, those kinds of things. Some assets, you might have embedded assets in them. So I might have components that I want to track and install base as well as the parent item. So components might be field swappable units, where if I can go out to the field, I swap this unit out, put a new unit in, I can get the product up and running again. So an install base will actually track those maintenance work orders that do field swappable components. It'll track any serialized items that you take off or put back on the product through maintenance work orders. So there's a lot of things that you can do with those. Click into the asset details. See if I can get in here. There it is. Now, is it thinking about it? It's thinking about it. So this is a list of all the information on the asset number, description, serial, all these kind of things. You can, names, addresses. Down here, you can allow maintenance to work on this asset or maintenance program as well as work orders. And then you have all these things over here on that. So if there's any meters associated with this, so this goes to internal assets, because install base can be internal assets, right? It is not hooked into planning or anything like that yet, but I can set up internal assets to have maintenance programs associated with them, repair and maintenance or preventative maintenance or whatever it is. And I can put meters on it. I can track the meters in here. This is anything that's gone on with the asset. This asset hierarchy is where I can see components to the asset that I want to specifically track, as well as the asset itself. You'll see, this one isn't one, but you'll see the graphic of the hierarchy of all the assets. So there's all these different things that you can do. And we've put subscriptions out here. These are service requests. You can see work orders. There's also information from the CX side of the house as well. And you can also see the cost of any work order. So you can see the total cost of ownership on this through the work orders. So a lot of information in here on this. This is in sales and service and install base. And if clients move, or if the asset is brought up back in-house, if I put out an RMA to bring this asset back in-house, as soon as it comes back in-house, the asset address will be updated to my inventory, my warehouse location. So some of it is automatic. If I have to, if I bring in an RMA, it'll take the asset away from the subscription contract, as I now have it. It's not at the client. If it goes back out without a new warranty or without a new repair warranty, you can have it add a whole new warranty on it. You can slide it back out under the existing warranty that it came in on, all those kinds of things. So, but install base is where we can track internal assets in as far as the maintenance and a location goes, as well as assets that we sold to our customers.
I have one more question, so when you are in install base, let's say if there is a service request for repairing a product and there is a swap for one of the parts. So do we maintain, how do we track the latest bill of material of that product running at the customer side?
Unless you load it into the system, you cannot.
Okay, so after repairing a product, where do we need to go back and update the bill?
So if I go out and repair a product and I swap out an asset, install base under hierarchy will tell you what serial number currently exists under, what is the current configuration as far as the components on that asset that you are tracking. If you're not tracking the complete bill of material, then you're not going to see everything, right? You're only going to see those components that you viewed were important enough to track.
Okay.
So that's under the hierarchy. So on this particular asset, I'm not tracking anything below the parent. But this is where I would see any subcomponents. And I don't necessarily want to track everything. I only want to track the high value components, because I don't want to track every screw and bolt that goes into this, right? I only want to track certain things.
Yeah.
But if you want to, you could certainly load in the complete bill of material into the hierarchy.
Mm. Okay. But sometimes, you know, the end customer, they would like to know the exact part, you know, which they would like to replace. So a few days ago, like,
yeah, it's certainly up to the customer. If they want to put the complete bill of material in here, they can.
They can.
Some people will just put that on a in maintenance. You can set up when you set up the maintenance product, you can also put a hierarchy in there of what you're going to be repairing in maintenance on a periodic basis. So again, putting the complete bill of material in here, you can, but I'd really have to understand the use case to find out if it's worth it or not. But it sounds like you're working with a client that rents cars out. Is that what I'm understanding?
No, they don't rent cars. I mean, but they do rent equipments, drilling equipments to the customer.
Mm-hmm.
And so customer uses it for an year or two, and then they return that equipment back to the company, to Wellbore. So we are trying to figure out how
renting and lease. Yeah, renting and rental companies and leasing companies are some very specific use cases that you need to walk carefully with and make sure you have revenue management experts with you and leasing experts with you on that. Because while we may be able to do the recurring billing, which we certainly can do, there are other accounting considerations that we may fall apart on in revenue management and revenue recognition. So while we can certainly set up rental cars, but you also are rental units. But remember, in the rental units, there's more involved here than just renting the unit out and getting it back. There's a whole system around availability and all those kinds of cool things, right?
Yes.
And every time I've walked into a client where this is their use case, we've ended up, and I don't want to discourage anybody, but at that time we walked away from the deals because we couldn't do everything that needed to be done. And so just make sure you get the leasing experts of Oracle involved, because there's a lot of specifics involved in leasing and renting that subscription management and revenue management don't handle. So there's a lot of gaps.
Yeah, I'm working with the CX team as well. So it looks like,
well, there's a whole leasing team. There's a couple experts in Oracle that's all they do is lease.
So my understanding is that Oracle does have a leasing product, but they do not have anything for rentals. So leasing it will work for the end customer, you know, who is renting an equipment, but not for the company that is sending or shipping their fixed assets and getting it back. So in every deal, like, you know, one is a renter and second one is the lessee, right? Lease. So Oracle does not have anything for rental, from my understanding.
No, there are some partners that do, but I don't remember who they are right now. But yeah, that's just one of those real specialty cases, renting and leasing. That's really something we have to be careful of to make sure that we can handle all the revenue management and everything aspects of it. So.
Okay, makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah, as far as billing customers, that's easy, right? But as far as
as
dealing with everything else, not so much.
True.
Any other questions, Patrick?
I've just been taking all this in. This is actually really, really great. And we have it recorded too, so that's even better.
Yeah, I'll when we stop, I'll make sure I put this on your Slack channel so you can put it wherever it is you need it.
That'd
You
be
might
great.
share it with Rich and the other.
I'm going to put it on
managers as well,
our,
maybe they want.
we have a OD recording for learning channel that I'll put it on. But what's really cool about this is like, I didn't even think about subscription management from a maintenance standpoint. So that's very, very interesting that I didn't even, whenever you start talking about it, I was like, wait, how is this working? How does it connect? So I'll have to go back and rewatch all that.
Yeah,
but
subscription management and warranty, you don't generally put those in the same sentence together. And that's kind of where what they've done here. So it is one of those things that's kind of confusing.
Just a little bit, but it's easy to kind of break it down once you think about it, think it through. But I mean, it goes into the whole service logistics play, right? And I remember talking to you before. So service contracts was supposed to be our way to get to rentals, and then they got rid of that, and now subscription management is kind of
they haven't got rid of service contracts.
You can't sell it anymore.
Service, yeah, as a product and as a name, it is not. But all the functionality that was in service contract is now part of subscription management.
Oh,
subscription
I thought it was completely different.
No, subscription management took all the service contract functionality and made it part of the subscription management project. Now there are other aspects to subscription management that are not service related, right? Like the recurring billing and all that kind of fun stuff. But they've all the functionality is there. They didn't lose anything.
Got it. Okay. Perfect. Is there actually, I had one question that's completely unrelated to this.
You bet.
You remember back in the day, you and Scotty Sims were working on a flow to update cost of goods sold on the income statement for financials through cost management. Do you remember doing that with him by chance?
No, I don't.
Oh man. Well, I was going to ask if you had anything documented, but never mind.
No, I don't ever remember doing anything with the balance sheet on the finance side of the house. So
I'll have to reach out to Scotty and see, because I remember he was in the office and he's like, yeah, I'm working with Eric Ellsbury to figure out how to update COGS on the income statement or balance sheet. So I was like, that'd be cool to know. See how invested it is. So
he may have asked me some questions or something, so I'm not sure. I don't remember it all.
Okay. Is there anything else or any other questions from anybody? No? Okay. Well, hey, Eric, thank you so much. And I